4. So given the following three expressions, so you have equation for P, equation for Q, and equation for R, which of the following list these expressions from least value to greatest value? So basically you have to calculate each of these following Bedmas. So it's just order of operations, but you do have fractions in there, so that might make it a bit trickier. And you're going to have positive and negative integers. And then you have to put them in increasing order, which is smallest to biggest. Okay, so I'm going to bring them down here and rewrite them to be able to have enough space to do it. So P is -4 plus 1/3 times 14 minus -25. Okay, so I'll start out with that one. So here, if I'm following my order of operations, so that means you have to follow Bedmas, I have to start with my brackets. So in here, in this bracket, I have 14 minus -25. This is the point in the equation, like this is when you're subtracting a negative, that we learn that this turns to a positive. So I'll rewrite it as that, -4 plus 1/3 times 14 plus 25. Okay, so the negative turns into a plus. So then you have -4 plus 1/3 times 14 plus 25, which is 39. All right. When we get to this point, now is where we have to do multiplication with a fraction. So you have to remember what your rules for multiplying fractions is that if you're multiplying fractions, you're supposed to multiply the tops and multiply the bottoms. But when you have a whole number, we learned that there's an imaginary 1 here. So you're doing 1 times 39 and 3 times 1. So you have -4 plus 39 over 3. Okay, now this looks like it would be hard for us to add at this point, but you have to remember that this sign in your fraction actually just means divide. So it's -4 plus 39 divided by 3. So you do the 39 divided by 3 first. 39 divided by 3 gives you 13. So it's -4 plus 13. Now at this point, we just have this addition that's left, and I know that some people mess up at this point when you have one negative number and one positive number. It's something that we've been struggling with a lot in class. So what you need to do is when they're opposite signs and you're adding them, you're supposed to subtract the two numbers. So you do 13 minus 4, which is 9, and then you take the sign of the positive number. So this, if you need to write it for yourself, is +9, okay? Because 13 is bigger than 4, so it will have more of a pull on the number line away from 0. So it's +9, okay? You don't have to write that plus sign, but if you want to have that for yourself, just to make sure that you checked it, the answer for P would be +9. Okay, so this one gives me 9. I'll do the second one. So Q is -3 squared plus 5 times 4 minus 3. So again, I'm following Bedmas. I don't have any brackets, but I do have exponents. So I have to deal with this 3 squared right away. A lot of people have trouble when there's a negative and it's not inside the bracket or it's outside the bracket. You're not sure when there's a squared and there's a negative. Okay, technically here, since there's no bracket in front of the negative sign, it's just like you're doing negative of 3 squared. So you just add the negative sign there. Now you do 3 squared, so that's 3 times 3 is 9. So it's -9 plus 5 times 4 minus 3. So now I've taken care of my exponent. My next thing is my multiplication. So I do this middle part. 5 times 4 is 20. And you bring the rest down. -9 plus 20 minus 3. Okay, and I think we still have trouble with the positive and negative thing again. So here, if I'll do them in pieces. So -9 plus 20. Well, you do 20 minus 9 is 11. Okay, and between the 9 and the 20, well, 20 is bigger than 9, so you take the sign that was in front of the 20. So it's +11 and then minus 3. So now you just have 11 minus 3 is 8. Okay, and the third one, R, you have 2 minus 5 squared plus 6 times 2 divided by 3. Okay, so I'm going to start out with my brackets. So 2 minus 5 becomes negative 3 squared plus 6 times 2 divided by 3. So that's my bracket taken care of, but I have to square what's in there. So here, like this is what I was talking about when we were looking at this one over here. Now I have negative 3 times negative 3. Here it was a negative of 3 times 3. So that's why in this case you have negative 3 times negative 3. A negative times a negative becomes a positive. So this one is positive 9 plus 6 times 2 divided by 3. Okay, now I would be moving on to doing my division and my multiplication, and you do it in the order that it's presented there. So like I'm going to just bring this 9 plus down. So first I'm going to do 6 times 2 is 12 divided by 3. So 9 plus 12, again, you have to do the division before the addition. So 12 divided by 3 is 4, and then you just have 9 plus 4, you do that, it's 13. Okay, and so now I've done all of this math, and the last thing I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to put them into increasing order. So this one was 9, this one was 8, and this one was 13. So Q is the smallest, and then P, and then R. So I look for that in my options here. So B is QPR, and that's my answer. Really important that you know how to do order of operations for your exam, and you'd have to do it like this that had you had one that had a fraction in it. You definitely have to be able to do it with positive and negative numbers, and it's possible for you to have some questions that would also have decimal numbers in them as well, but you're allowed your calculator.